Hello and welcome to the November live stream show of Perspectives. It's also the final show of the year. My name is Kieran and I'm your host for this evening. If this is the first time you've joined us, here is a short video about perspectives.
Hi,
we're Spectrum.
Newcastle's Autism Theatre Company.
We're excited to tell you about our new creative writing, poetry and spoken word project, Perspectives.
Funded by the Arts Council England, made possible by players of the National Lottery.
Thank you.
Perspectives will be running for the next 5 months to give people with autism the chance to explore creative writing, spoken word and poetry.
We will also be creating and live streaming 5 showcase performances to the whole world.
We can't wait to share
Our voices,
our imagination,
our stories,
Our humour.
Our ideas.
our dreams,
Our perspectives.
Events will be live streamed on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
but wait, there's more.
we are also running 5 creative writing and spoken word workshops for adults with learning disabilities or autism. And we want you to get involved.
There will be monthly workshops.
If you'd like to take part at one of our free workshops, you'll also get to perform at one of our live stream open mic events.
So what are you waiting for?
Book your place now at www.twistandducks.co.uk/events.
Thanks for watching. You can find all the links below this video.
Well, what a strange and challenging year it's been. We're also glad that we got to use our imagination and creativity amongst everything that's been going on. Here are some recent creations exploring everything from Christmas to politics.
Daybreak. I awoke to the sound of my alarm clock. My first thought was to throw it out of the nearest window and return to my slumber. However, I decided against it for 2 reasons. 1, I would be late for work again and would lose money as my wages would be docked. And 2, I already had to replace 2 alarm clocks this month because I'd thrown them out of the bedroom window. At this rate, most of my wages would be spent replacing alarm clocks.
The Wumbles of Wimbledon love waffling on. The Wumble of Downing Street speaks lots of what I can only describe as bog roll, cause there's lots of fumbling with not a lot of facts. With lots of fancy figures and ooh, a graph. Next slide, please. These daily briefings are an absolute chore. That they're that exciting that they could make a baby snore. It's not exactly lullabies for the poor man. It's gonna make the poor little thing cry. Maybe there needs to be a PSA at the beginning of every single daily briefing. Or if the science twins come on, break glass in case of emergency, only to be used to cure insomnia. As I say, these daily briefings are major excitement overload. Mr. Science Man to the left of me, other Mr. Science Man to the right, and here we are stuck in the middle, answering the real question: can we watch Bake Off on time? Or a question from Mildred at number 49 asking what time can she continue clapping for the carers, or did that finish 4 months ago? This reminds me of the 7 dwarves: witty, waffle, wumble, lipless, bumble, useless and excitement. Okay, I couldn't think of anything else to rhyme with wumble. God. Half the time when I hear hands say space, I think head, shoulders, knees and toes. Why can't it be mask, flask, gap? Mask, because we'll wear masks. Flasks, because COVID can be cured by a cup of tea, can't it? And gasp, because we're either gasping for air or at the sheer hilarity that the Northeasters get in tougher restrictions. Notice anything? History repeating itself? North South divide by the 7 dwarfs? Too harsh. No, it's the truth. Anyway, witless and fumble, waffle on laws, and just like everyone else, I don't have a clue what was said, and people are going to be left scratching their heads.
Thank you. Now, Ideas come from anywhere. In fact, some of the best ideas come from the strangest places. We took 3 random words, threw them together, and let our imaginations run wild.
I am a horse who's in the Grand National. I feel shy. I am bashful. My name is Hot Chocolate. I won the race. And the other horses had to do a forfeit. They thought, what a disgrace. I now ride from the earth to the moon. So I'm going to say, see you all soon.
Sunshine. The sunshine fell across the map, obscuring it, so I was unable to steer the ship, and it veered towards the rocks. Suddenly, the crew and myself became aware of strange, haunting music and singing. It began to hypnotize us and lure us towards the rocks. I shouted at the crew to cover their ears because I knew it was the sound of the sirens who lure sailors to their doom.
When I was 7, I went horse riding. I went on a horse who was called Angel. She was a white horse. A funny moment happened once. I fell off her. I could have broke my neck, but I didn't. There was a bright moonlight last week. I took a photo on my iPhone. I tasted hot chocolate. It was weird for me, as I don't like hot drinks. It's strange how I love chocolate, but don't like hot chocolate.
It was the year 1747, approximately the 24th of December, and an unusual character named Kris Kringle made an invention as his final gift to the world, known as hot chocolate, and everyone was fascinated. One man had a sip and enjoyed it. The next minute, Kris became Santa Claus and rode his horse to the moon by midnight. I guess you can say one small step for joy and one giant leap for Christmas.
I am Sarah with the train of thunder, made out of thunder and lightning. I found a sausage roll and gave it electric shock, and suddenly sausage roll turned into a chop.
Thank you. Next up, we have 3 pieces inspired by real life events.
The sun was high in the sky. The air was hot. In the center of the forest, in a clearing, was a stag, a platonic stag, graceful and proud, with big antlers. He looked at me. I felt honored. He is protected in Greece. He is a good luck symbol. I smelled, and he slowly walked away.
The bald eagle. The man with an 80s afro realizes it's getting warmer. He gets sweaty and says, "Oh, I'm so hot." So we get a bucket and label it as the remaining sweat. So he goes to the hairdressers and asks for a number 1 all over. As the hair falls off, it's like the hair is saying, free at last, free at last, free at last. The man no longer had an afro. He was bald. He checks his head for hair. There was none. I've no longer got curly afro. I'm bald. I guess you can say I'm a bald eagle.
Neatness. Enough neatness. Always take 1 or 2 from the plastic stand at the metro station. I take them home. Once a month I have a sort out. If they're tatty, I bin them. I like to hold them. They're relaxing, therapeutic and comforting.
Thanks, everyone. Now it's time for the open mic part of the show.
Too loud. motorways, building sites, the wind when you try to think, people on the phone, and feedback from an amplifier. Keep quiet, an empty Twisting Ducks audience. The television when the speaker breaks. Shopping centres at the minute, there's not enough crowds of people. Zoom, the world right now is far too quiet.
When the darkness falls outside, shining, guiding in on me, I know you are there. Yellow, glowing, sparkling, just for me. Many tiny lights form you. Every night, new designs guest. You are my comforting, magical sensory lights. For every night, I look out of my hospital window and I see you there.
Not my normal. You say we're all feeling how hard the lockdown has been. I say we don't. You say that we're all missing out on normal human things. I say we don't. I say what is normal? You say everybody knows what normal is. I say, do you know what it is to be in pain every day? One false move and you're crying out. Do you know how it feels to be exhausted as soon as you've woken up? Your normal is not my normal. My restrictions started years ago. My lockdown on the 3rd of March, not the 23rd, and it never ended, not until there's a vaccine for me. I don't go out except my morning walk with husband and dog, early morning to avoid the crowds, the cyclists and the joggers in the park, and those people who still can't count to 2 meters. And do you know what? There are bits I love about it. People having to stay away from me in queues like I always wanted. No pressure to socialize, network, make friends. I am not lonely, I have people. And now I can see them and talk to them without the complicated dance of where shall we meet? How can I get there? How long can I stay? The logistics are simple now, Skype or Messenger. Now the extension is done, I sit looking at the garden from my comfy chair. Squirrel on the fence and the feeder and treasure digging everywhere. Birds feeding and flying and fighting. The dog needing to come and look and get stroked. I am dreaming of a house in Scotland, not found yet, not bought yet, but definitely there.
A big thank you to all the people who took part in the open mic part of our show over the last 6 months. Last up tonight, we reflect on why we write, why we tell stories, and why we express ourselves creatively.
I write because I view my world differently. I formulate words and images through rhythm and rhyme. I see the world differently. I used to write when I was younger. Now it's easier to write. It's not difficult. Sometimes my ideas come at stupid times. Usually on the toilet or in the kitchen. Or in the bath too. Very often I'll get inspired by music. Poetry is my mindfulness. Poetry helps me chill. Poetry helps me become inspired. It's even more so this year because 2020 has been odd to say the least. I write because I love notebooks too. Killer notebooks that I can install because the pile is sky high. But I have a second-hand bookshelf which was an investment. It's perfect, but I don't have any willpower to buy one more new notebook a week.
I need to teach myself, or there's going to be books underneath a stool at the end of the day. It's a useful addiction to turn my knowledge and wisdom into poetry. If I don't get my words onto bits of paper, I will explode. If I don't talk it out, my environment gets cluttered. I inspire to finish my poetry and I mix it up. It's art and it's romantic. It's my contribution to my line of sacred celebrations.
I use my imagination to make up stories. I like to tell stories to entertain people. Get my mind off stuff. Keep my mind busy. When I was a kid, I used to imagine and decorate my own room with patterns and border around it. But I can't because of my bad eyesight. When I hear myself telling stories, I feel that I'm doing a wonderful job.
Why I like to write? I write because I like to share my awareness. I write because I like to share my story. I write to be more creative and have an imagination. I write so I can get my feelings out. I write because it's my coping mechanism. I write to get rid of how I am feeling. I write because I am confident to share my work. And I write to make my parents proud.
Why I love writing. My love affair with language and writing began as a young child. It was a means of escape from the problems at home. It enabled me to express my thoughts and emotions in a safe way, when I couldn't tell anyone else. Besides, I was encouraged to write by my English teacher, who said I had a gift and a good imagination. I began writing poetry, which quickly became my means of therapy, because it gave me solace and an outlet for my imagination. I can't imagine a world without writing, because it would remove the main outlet for my imagination and emotions. I enjoy making people laugh or cry. It means I have connected with them on an emotional level. I can use my imagination to tell stories and escape from my humdrum existence and physical and mental health issues. I think my autism is a gift because it gives me a different perspective on life, the universe, and everything.
That's all, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed watching and listening to us as much as we have sharing our words. All our events from previous months are available to watch on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, or on our website. You can find the links below this video. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, everyone. Bye!